Okay, I'm gonna respond a little bit to Rich here, and people know. People in the groups that know me, that when we talk behind the scenes, that I don't have much bad shit to say about Rich. I will say some of the things that he said to me in private, because you don't say things in private that you wouldn't say publicly. Publicly, you know, especially when it comes to you don't have to. I don't know. It's kind of two faced, in my opinion, to say one thing publicly and something else in private. You know, and when he got on there and he started changing his format up to where we can't come over there now because there's been a lot of harassment, a lot of insult to the family. I've never done that. Neither has Pamela Collins, and neither have any of the true hardcore non-supporters. I have never done that. I've never. And when I was on his panel, I was nothing but respectful. I even held back because I didn't really because it's his. It's like going into his house and shitting on his toilet seat. You know what I mean? I'm not going to do that over there. And be respectful to him. He is a very respectful man. He does have some supporter confidence, some supporters stuff that we've seen since before he came along. It's like, so what he says to me is, oh, and by the way, if at all possible, you want me to begin responding to your videos, let's try and do it by not getting personal. And to prove that you've gotten personal, I have not. He hasn't gotten personal with me ever. I mean, he makes his little comments over there that we're included in, but he's never said anything to me personally. But I really took it to heart when he stopped allowing us to come over there because his reason was that there was a bunch of harassment. No, the reason, Rich, is because you don't like to be called out on your facts. You don't like that, and I can do that civilly. I'm just a little more assertive than you are. So and then he says, regardless of whether or not we like what each other has to say, we wouldn't be taking it personal. Don't you think that would be an appropriate way to handle things? Well, Rich, if I told you that I knew for a fact that Darla was guilty because somebody told me, and I really can't say now how I know this because they want me to keep that under wraps. Wouldn't I sound like I was full of shit to you? And if I told you that I had worked with some of the world's best investigators, wouldn't you want to know about that? And it's you that have said these things, Rich. If you're going to represent Darla Routier, you can't be saying things like, we found this, we investigated this fingerprint over in the JFK, and we found 14, because you didn't. That's just a simple search and find that out. I personally have nothing against you. I don't. I never did. I do not like the fact that you said some things about some people that are on your panel today behind their backs. I mean, I don't do that about people. If I got something to say to them, I'll say it. I don't do that. So it makes me want. And then I caught you over there. We've been talking for 5 years, Rich, and I caught you. I caught you under Danelle's. When I caught you, when Danelle put that lying ass post up about how I'm stalking her, and I'm not stalking her. You can watch my videos and see that. She don't bother me no more. But she don't come over here with that bullshit neither. That I'm stalking her and she would very much like to see me in jail. You put a big old like on that, Rich. And that to me is two-faced. Sorry, that's just two-faced. Because here I got a family over here, and I just oppose her saying things that she says, and she has always gotten nasty with me first. I can prove that she's just as nasty as her mother is. And if you think that's insulting the family, then tell them to stop. They can't be out here saying that superficial means this, or she lost 50% of her blood, because she didn't. And we know this. All right? So what I'm doing is, you as a person are a good person. I understand that. I get that. I'm holding you accountable for the things that you say. Now, can you comment under this video whether or not you told me that you would never have Sully on your panel again and how she embarrassed you? No, you're not going to do that because you're friends with Sully. But you told me that. All right? I don't work that way. If I got something to say to somebody, I say it to them. You come up with a lot of hoopla you talk about character assassination, Rich, and you constantly do it to Basha. You constantly do that. All the investigators, you constantly do that, and I think you build yourself up to be as you're a private investigator, and you're not. You're just not. That doesn't mean you're a shit person because you feel that way. You work for concrete. You work for somebody in your family. That's if you know what I take it personal, Rich. You know what I think's personal when you stand up for somebody that killed two kids, as if what she says is gold. That's very personal to me. I've got young kids. I take that personally. And if you're going to do that, then I'm going to, you want to if you want to character assassinate me, go ahead. Nobody's going to get violent. If you want to personally attack me, go ahead. Try it. I'll get you back with facts. I have no reason to be mad at you on that personal level. But if you keep spewing the bullshit that you spew, and I think it's bullshit that you spew on here, as long as I live, I'm going to be here to do this. You're more than welcome to get under my videos and correct me, like you're trying to correct me about this affidavit that Darren wrote. First of all, he wrote it in he where did he swear in at? Okay, maybe the affidavit. Let's give you half a second. Maybe he knows that if he turns it in, that it's sworn. And he wasn't there when they stamped it. But let's look at it the logical way. How can you prove he's lying? How can you prove he didn't tell multiple people that? To charge him with perjury. I know it. Because here's my logic. Here's my logic on that. I told multiple people about breaking into my home. The family doesn't go after him. They go after us non-supporters as if we're the scum of the earth, and but they don't go after him. If that with that affidavit, and if Darren really did ask people to come into his home and break in his home, and you're looking for this intruder, then you got your answer. But they're not pushing him. I know that he's tired of being accused by the family. They just started this right before the last defense. That's why Darren's set on the last defense. They just started because when I started out as a supporter, you did not mention Darren. That was a no. Now you got Darlie doing it. Darlie talking about she didn't know he did things that she didn't know about back then. I mean, because they're reaching for straws. That's my opinion. If you ever want to have it just a me and you on the panel, I'll come to your channel, or you could come to mine. If you want to get down to it and let's stop the Taras and stop the Danelles and the Jamie's the psychic. Come on, man, that's bullshit, and you know it. To me, that psychic is bullshit. All right, just bringing people on that just watch a few shows. They're a special guest. I know about this case, and I know about it. See, because let's say that Darlie wanted you to represent her in court on her appeals. She wanted you to stand up to the judge and say, this is why she's innocent. You're not going to be able to say, well, somebody told me over here and I'm a private investigator and I just can't say right now and this is all under wraps. The reason that the innocent part, you guys even came out and said, Darlie saved her life. Darlie saved Melissa Lucio's life. In my opinion, if she's got, most of her kids are saying that she was never abusive, and I get shit from this from my non-support camp. If most of her kids would say she was never abusive, you only got one that's saying she is, and that little girl had a club foot and fell down them stairs, and the kids saw it by accident, then they should let her out. But Darlie's not responsible for any of that. She came 2 days and getting executed. And good old Darlie. Darlie did. And I had somebody that writes to Melissa ask her that. Did Darlie actually turn you on to it? Was Darlie the one that got her hooked up with the Innocence Project? And we got the letter back, and Melissa said yes. Darlie did tell her attorneys about her, and they started looking at her. But the Innocence Project is there. They make money. And 46% of their cases, they're wrong. Most of the time, they're right. I'll give them that. But Darlie Routier is such a controversial case. And I understand that, that when they do take on a case, they post it on their page. They're just kind of up in the air with Darley, and Danelle seems to think that the CIU is actually working to be sure that Darley, you know, be sure that Darley can get out if she's in it. No, they're watching over it. They're not internal affairs. The SEIU looked it over in 2008. But at any rate, Rich, I have nothing against you. But if you're gonna, I'm thinking about the two little boys that are in the ground. That's what I've always thought about. They're in the ground, and when you disregard what these experts are saying, you know, and oh, that guy's stupid, and he should have said this, and this guy's and Bevel's retarded. I'll give you something on the whole Bevel thing. I'll give you something that's always struck me as kind of strange. All right, and for the innocent side, on Bevel, when Greg Davis told him he didn't need to provide a report, right? When Greg Davis told him he didn't need to provide a report as how he scientifically came to his conclusions, that was weird to me. But on the other hand, Greg Davis probably knew that Labor and Epstein weren't going to be called to the stand. Then you had Sully up on your panel talking about, well, Texas, they call it junk science now, and it's not any good, this forensic stuff. It's all junk science. This is the same lady that did experiments with blood and cadaverous pigs. But here, the thing of it is if the forensics aren't acceptable now and it's all junk science, then it's going to be junk science when Labor and Epstein get on the stand too, right? Can't have it that way. I'd love nothing more, Rich, than for you and I to just have a panel together. I'll do it on your panel. And you can be assertive and aggressive with me. I don't care. And if you're right about something, I'll say you're right. Just like a video I put up not too long ago. I was looking at this video where I was arguing with Danelle, and somebody told me, so one of the people in my group said, there was no dog that found that sock. And I had already argued with Danelle. And I heard you say about the sock, and I heard Mystery Maverick, and I've heard other supporters say that a canine found that sock. So I never thought to actually look into that. And I'm arguing with Danelle, and me and her are screaming and hollering at each other, oh, yes, the dog did find that sock. And I was fucking wrong. So I put a video up about it. I was wrong. I don't want to put out things that are not facts. I'm not here to put another knife in them boys. Every lie that I hear, everything that I know is a lie that I hear a supporter say, it's just like another knife in their body to me. Now, you and I got along fine. The thing that really pissed me off is when you put that like on Danelle's long ass post about how she's being stalked and I'm doing everything I can to harass her. And I haven't. Rich, I've never messaged her. I've never called her. She's always done it to me. Just like when we went live. When me and Danelle went, come on, Bryan, go live with me right now. Go live with me. Write in my message. I said, okay, we'll go live. She's nasty. Her behavior is nasty. Telling me in front of my kids. Telling me that I was molesting my kids. She can't skirt around that. She said her dad never did that. Darley said she did. Somebody's lying. You can't, and you're probably molesting yours and you ain't got caught yet. I brought my kids into that one. I brought my kids in here. My 15-year-old daughter told her she was disgusting and she needed to get a life. You see, if you watch that video, look how nervous Danelle is when she sees that I'm bringing my kids into this. So you're going to bring your kids into it? Oh, that's a real good father. That's real good. You brought your kids to an anti-death penalty thing, man. The one in the background crying her eyes out, didn't want anything to do with it. And you want to talk about me waking up my kids because somebody accused them of not telling on anybody who would sexually molest them? So yeah, we get a little angry sometimes. And it's a passionate case. But I personally got nothing against you. It's the things that you say. It's the things that you say, Rich. You can comment under this if you'd like. You don't have to always be proper with me. You don't. I'm not always going to be proper with you. But my channel, I'm going to say what I want to say. Your channel, you're going to do what you want to do. If I do something on my channel that's incorrect or I get a fact wrong, I would expect you to either make a video or comment under it. Period. Like you have been doing. Right now, you are the strongest voice in YouTube land for Darlie Routier's innocence. So you're going to have a conflict with the strongest voice in YouTube land for Darlie's guilt. You're going to have that. That's all there is to it. You can get personal with me. I know I ain't shit. I'm no fucking investigator. I ain't no investigator at all, but I'm good at it. When I hone in on something, I'm good at it. Sure am. And I'm not coming at you with, well, I can't really say right now. And one of the things you do all the time is, well, Darlie said this. Do you think Rich, we had this talk. We had this talk. And you and I know we had this talk. Do you think Darlie's going to tell you the truth? Rich, do you remember what you said to me? Or do I just need to keep that to myself? I have personally heard you tell me you have doubts about Darlie's innocence. I know this, and you know this. And I'm not the only one that you've told that to. But you'll still sit out here and say this. Now, you can get mad all you want, but that's not personal. When you've told me that you definitely have doubts about Darlie's innocence, you know that. You know you've said it, and it's been recently. I even thought you was coming around. I'm not the only one you told that to, Rich. So with you having your doubts, you're still sitting up there on the panel like 100% that she's innocent. I like you as a person. I think you're a nice guy. I think your music's pretty good too. That's why I told people when I put up your music, don't make any jokes because I don't want people hating on you about your music. It's too bad you don't do that anymore. Music is a passion. You said you hadn't been done videos for a while. I said, well, they've shut up. And you said you haven't done videos for a while because you've been studying, you've been working other cases. You don't put anything up but Darla cases. Do you see how detailed I am when I put up another case about about what that's not about Darlie? When I talk about Darlie, it's just raw, right off the rip. It's just raw. I don't script it. I don't do anything. I just like I'm walked into a room and we're all talking about Darlie. When I do other court cases, other crime cases, I take my time with it, like I did on my other channel when I had Darlie that channel. That whole channel's gone, Rich. I wish I could. Do you think I've been sitting on this Beja thing and I haven't put it up? No, they're gone because when that Rel started harassing us, that channel got deleted, and I couldn't get it back, and I didn't have my videos backed up. I didn't think I'd have to. I didn't think I'd be harassed about Darlie Routier that much. Let me tell you who a good friend is of his. The Truth. This has been going on with me and her for 15 years. So I vented. You can vent. You can react to me. I'm not going to bite your head off, dude. I'm not going to come after you just because you said something that I don't like. I'm not. I might make jokes about you. I really don't think you're a fucking private investigator. And I know you didn't have anything to do with the finding a fingerprint. And I know that Robert Groden he always goes down to you said he's a good friend of yours. You're not on his friends list. Well, I actually was going to reach out to him and call him, ask him, did he know you? Just to prove you wrong. Going down, you don't live far from Dealey Plaza. And the thing, it's really interesting to be there. That place is eerie. It's eerie. It's full of history, it's full of crime, and full of lies and conspiracy. That doesn't make you a good friend of Robert Groden. It doesn't. So those are the things I'd like to say. I would say that to you if you were sitting right here. I have no fear. But you're a likable person. Uh, I have made some jokes, but again, you're calling us circle of hell people and haters and making up lies about us harassing your page when we haven't. Not me, not Pam, not Christine Rose. None of that. We have not harassed your page. But if we go in there and say, nah, that you didn't get that right, that's wrong, you guys consider that harassment. That's what you do. So peace and chicken grease, and I encourage you to continue to post under my page. I can't bite your head off. I'm not going to bite your head off. I really would like to debate with you. Because I was you one time, Rich. And I've told you this personally. I was you. And I am so glad for these people that kept at me and kept at me and kept at me and rescued me from Darley's support. You can look on Free Darley and you can type in to search for content and you can see me and Pam arguing. Me and Pam Collins arguing from 2011. I was you. Peace and chicken grease, buddy.